Hey guys, Norkla here, and my BM800 ba kayo, just like I have here? Wala ba kayong audio interface or phantom power and hindi kayo nasisiyahan sa quality nito? What if I told you that there's a way for you to sound like a DJ through this mic na naka-plug lang sa PC ninyo at no extra cost? You know, something that sounds like this.
DJ Norkla here, and I'm so happy to show you how to sound like a DJ through this microphone at no extra cost. Interesado ka ba? Well then, let's get started. Hey guys, Future Norkla here. I discovered sa editing that medyo tumagal pala yung video, humaba siya than I initially expected. So I'm gonna leave timestamps below so you can skip to the parts that you think is useful for you. That being said, let's get back to the video. Okay, before we start, I'm gonna have to warn you that we're gonna be a bit technical here in this video. But oops, don't click away yet. There are actually good reasons for you to continue watching this video. First of all, audio is a very important skill set if you're a broadcaster or a streamer, because that's really what differentiates you from all the content creators out there. That's how you interact with viewers, and that's how you are able to differentiate the experience, right? Make it very, very interactive. The second reason is that whatever you learn here, you can apply this to any other mic. So even if you have a cheaper headset mic or upgrade down the line to a more expensive mic, you will understand the technical side of how to make your mic sound better and to use it to the fullest. Alright, so let's get started. The first thing that I'm gonna teach you is about the signal chain. Now, the signal chain is basically how you get the source to the output, right? So getting that audio signal from your microphone to the output, which is either your headphones if you're monitoring it, or your OBS for your streaming, and also your other communication devices. Now, I'm not an audio engineer, and for our purposes, we'll just keep the signal chains very, very simple. I'm sure audio engineers will say that there are other more complex signal chains, but for us, basic lang tayo for this video, and let's go through it really quickly. The first part of the signal chain is, of course, your input, right? So your source. So yung source mo is actually this BM800 mic that I'm actually using right now. We will be connecting it naturally to the Windows microphone device manager, and then after that, we will actually plug it into a software called Voicemeeter. It's a free software that you can use, and it's very robust. You can transform your voice, and that's really what's really driving how I sound as a DJ. And then finally, I'll teach you how to connect it to OBS. Let's go through each of them one by one. So about the source, the BM800, the first thing that we actually need to do is to kind of talk about its characteristics. Each mic is different, right? So each mic sounds very different out of the box, and this BM800 has its own characteristics. And let me switch over quickly to the default sound of the mic.
Mic test, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you should be hearing the sound of the BM800 without any post-processing at all. And as you can hear, it sounds very high-pitched. Well, it's not really high-pitched. It sounds like a higher quality megaphone. So it actually emphasizes the mids and the highs. And it's actually giving you that very harsh and sharp sound. So that's what you have to remember when we're working on the processing layer already. The second thing that I've noticed here is that the capsule inside this mic, so capsules are the ones that actually receive yung voice ninyo and convert it to electrical signal. If you note, it actually is very prone to distortion. It actually distorts your voice, especially if you're speaking very close to it. And I'll show you right now. Hi guys, I'm trying to distort the microphone, and this is how it sounds like. It's actually very distorted already, especially when I'm talking with my normal voice in front of the microphone. There, diba? You can hear it. It actually sounds very distorted. Parang may narinig kang parang very distorted thing. It's hard to describe. Alam niyo na yun. I'm sure you've heard it already. So, a couple of things to remember when you're using this mic. It's always better for you to make sure that the mic is actually maybe a fist away from your mouth, right? A fist and maybe even a few fingers, because having that distance between your mouth and the mic removes, quite a lot of the harshness when it's the mic is actually trying to listen to your voice. The second one also that I've found is that it might also be beneficial for you to turn the mic around. So let's test it now. So as you know, yung logo, if you can see, means that this is the front of the mic. One of the things that I've actually tried and was trying before was that I am now speaking to the rear of the mic, right? So I'm sure it has changed. I'm now speaking into the back of the mic. If you use it this way and it's relatively still close to your mouth, then it actually kind of removes a bit of the distortion, but it introduces a bit of the muddiness. So that's my suggestion. Personally, I like to keep it facing myself and just have a bit of distance from my mouth. The next thing that I would recommend is try to mount it away from your mouth a bit. So instead of like having your mouth it mounted in a position that's directly like this into your mouth, try to have it like angled away from you, or rather your mouth facing kind of another direction. So I'm not sure if you can see it, but this is actually the side of my mouth. It's actually beside my mouth. I'm not speaking directly into the mic, so that capsule niya, it isn't distorting. So that's kind of how I would characterize it. I use actually my main microphone is a Razer Siren, and it actually can handle me eating the mic and just screaming in front of it when there's a heated battle when I'm streaming. This one can't. It will distort your voice.
For the processing layer, we will be using two pieces of software. The first one will be Windows' native device manager for microphones, and then second is a software called Voicemeeter. Let's show you how to find the control panel for the device manager of the microphone. So to find the control panel for your microphone, just search this, sound settings, press enter, and then you will be able to find the sound control panel under related settings. If you can't find it there, you might just have to scroll down because maybe tight yung window ninyo, but just click on it. Now go to the recording tab, and then you will be able to see different options. Now for you to find the microphone in this software, try to talk to your BM800 and see where it actually goes up, right? So this green thing to go up, you see the levels going up. These things, guys, are just software. Ignore these for now, but my microphone is actually here. So this is what we need to process. Right click and then click on properties and then go to levels. Now there are two knobs here, or actually sliders, that you can choose. Let's start with the microphone boost. I like to keep it at plus 20 decibels. Some people will tell you to actually boost it to 30 because there's very little power coming from the motherboard to the microphone. But I found that if I move it maximum to the right, to 30 decibels, there's a bit of static, and I actually don't like that sound. So keep it at 20 decibels. Now in terms of the microphone, I keep it here at 70. Now this one should change depending on your setup, and I recommend that you actually move your mic into the position that you're going to be using it on, and then speak to it and record your voice. Now adjust accordingly. So rule of thumb is that the closer the mic is to your mouth, the lower the level should be, the microphone volume should be, and the farther it is, it should be higher. Right, so since there's quite a bit of a distance between my mouth and the microphone, I'm setting it to 70. Also, another thing to remember, if it's too high, it will likely pick up the background noise around you. So try to get the sweet spot and test it around, right? Test and speak to your mic and then see what setting works best. So since we have this configured, now I'll show you how to actually get Voicemeeter. So the way to get Voicemeeter is you open your browser. Then you just type Voicemeeter with two E's, MEETER. It's usually the first option here, and then wait for that to load, and then just click this one, install the exe file, so that you no longer have to drag and drop and things like that. So just click this and then download it and run the installation program. I don't need it because I already have Voicemeeter, so I won't go through with that. I will pull up the Voicemeeter software. So this is the Voicemeeter software, and please don't be intimidated. This is basically your virtual soundboard. So if you've been to a sound booth, diba, parang nakakabit yung mga microphone and yung mga instruments and amps and things like that to this. There's this big board. Parang ganito siya. This is what it stands for, but it's only virtual. The first thing that you need to do is to put the hardware input, right? So hardware input, usually use the first channel. So the second channel is for another mic if you have another one, or another sound source. And then find your audio here. Now, it doesn't matter which one you actually choose, and it's still actually working. So this one, we're already here. Yung input yan. So basically, what you're seeing right now, and kung gumagalaw ito, ibig sabihin it's picking up an input from your microphone. Now, this is also the part where we kind of transform your voice. And the first tool that you will be using is actually this pad. This panel will let you choose whichever to accentuate, either your bass, the one to the left, or the treble, the one to the right. First thing pala is that make sure that this red button here is just on this below this line, kasi if you bring this one above the line, it will have an echo. So I'll show it to you now, right? So may echo na yung voice ko if you can hear it. So I keep it here. Now remember, when we were testing the mic, it actually accentuates the middle to the high frequency. So you're actually gonna want to move it here. But just so that you know what impact this pad actually does to your voice, I'll move it around. So I'll move it all to the far left. And as you can see, my voice is a bit more muddier. And if you're wearing headphones, medyo nag-rattle na or bass. I'll move it here to the lowest left. Then my voice really sounds muddy. I'll move it naman to the upper or middle right. Now my voice is very treble and sharper even. And then if I move it down to the lowest right or the lower rightmost, now I really sound like I'm a soldier, right? Like Stone Mountain 64. So what you do kasi, the way that you do it here is either try to record your voice and then adjust this accordingly. My voice kasi, according to my voice, this is the best place to put it. And each of our voices are different. You just have to see, you know, which setting works best for your voice. And in my case, it's around actually in this area. Now, if you're happy already with how it sounds, you don't have to do anything else. But here's another thing that I also want to show you. You click this one menu, then click Run 15 Bands Graphic Equalizer. And then you even have more granularity on what you control. So basically, this one, what I'm showing you is that I'm accentuating the lower ends, and I'm also kind of rounding it out so that it doesn't sound really muddy on the higher end, right? So this is kind of my settings. By the way, if you need my settings for want to try using my settings, I will actually leave a link somewhere so that you can download them. Now the next part, this part is actually the output. Since you've already transformed it, you now have to figure out how to actually plug it into the speaker or the output as part of our signal chain. Remember, signal chain natin, this is the source. We're working on the processing layer, and then we have to actually route it and plug it into your output software. So for now, the way to do it kasi is to choose yung this one, any digital output here. If you choose this kasi, for example, yung headphones, yung output na to, it will output directly to your ears, diba? And every single time that you have to use this software, you'll need to set it na yung QC35 stereo, yung output, yung magiging output source niya. But if you have this, choose the Realtek digital output. Okay? Basta digital output yung gamitin nyo. So that's it for the processing layer. Let's move on to the outputs already. Okay, so we've processed it, and now ikakabit na natin siya sa ating OBS. First things first, you go to your audio mixer, and you'll find the mic and the auxiliary inputs here, and then you right click this, and then you click properties. Now what you choose kasi, make sure that you don't click here. So I just switched to my microphone, and now it's going back to my original BM800 sound. Sayang yun. Ibig sabihin niya, hindi siya dumadaan. Yung signal chain is skipping the processing layer or skipping Voicemeeter. You have to choose itong Voicemeeter. Yan, Voicemeeter, VB Audio Voicemeeter VAIO. Right? So that's what you use. And then basically that's it. You test it. Kung yung levels mo are correct, you'll be, or actually if you've connected it correctly, gumagalaw siya. But that's not the only thing. I'm also going to teach you some of the techniques and plugins that you can use so that you can actually improve your stream. By the way guys, may nakita kasi akong mga posts or mga videos sa YouTube and trying to explain these filters. Medyo hindi accurate yung explanation, so let's try to explain these one by one. So regarding the filters, this is actually how you should set it up. So you right click on filters, and then you will see the list of audio filters that I use, and let's go through them one by one. The first one is actually called the noise gate, and now the noise gate is basically an audio filter that actually keeps the mic closed for at a certain threshold, diba? So for example, if there's ambient noise like your breathing or your keyboard, it will keep it closed, and you need to set it so that it will only activate when your mouth is speaking, right? So for example, I'll turn the noise gate off. This is my normal typing sound. Diba naririnig nyo siya? And actually, if you have noisier keyboards and if your mic is kind of close to your keyboard, napipick up siya and it might be negative to your viewer experience. And you need to set this para pag may imiingay ka, if there are voices that are quieter than you, na ambient, other than you speaking, the mic will stay off and not bother your viewers. Now, yung close threshold kasi, this is actually what level you should keep the mic closed, diba? So, what level? I tried it to set it to like negative 96, pero it actually doesn't, nag-error siya, it still picks things up. And the most effective one that I've seen is negative 60, which is the, this one, yung pinaka lowest down here. And then yung open threshold naman is what level of pickup will it start to actually activate again. And this one, you have to test your voice. Now, my regular speaking voice kasi, or when I've tested this multiple times, when I whisper, maabot pa rin siya. It has to be above 35. If you set this higher kasi, it will actually clip your voice. So you gotta test it with your voice. Ito yung default values niya, 26 and then 32. I just set it to 60 and then I prefer to set it to 35, diba? Para pag nagsalita ako, it doesn't keep the mic off and make it sound like nag-off, on-off yung mic ko. These things, yung attack time, hold time, and release time, this is fine. Just keep it as it is. Now, for gain naman, the best way to use this is to actually boost the volume after yung the actual setting na ginamit nyo sa simula ng Windows, diba? Kasi if you actually maximize the volume level and then maximize the boost, magdi-distort siya. The mic will sound explosive. Now, if you found the level na that's right for your voice, it actually doesn't sound like it's distorting, but you feel that the volume is really quite low pa rin, then you just increase the gain. This is optional. Next naman is noise suppression. Now, noise suppression actually is a plugin here in OBS that actually removes yung mga background noise ninyo. So for example, I actually have an air condition running, and I'll let you hear it. So this is the sound of my air conditioning. Diba? It's actually quite loud. It's actually negative 45 decibels, and you can hear that hum. Now this noise suppression kasi, when you turn this on, it reduces it. So I turn it on, I'll keep quiet. Oh, diba? That's actually how effective it is. Now, yung setting ko usually dito, you put it straight to negative 60 at the lowest setting possible, so that it actually becomes very aggressive in suppressing the noise, and wala naman tong impact sa audio nyo. Now, the last one is actually the compressor. Now, the compressor is basically making sure that yung output levels nyo that's outputting to the user sa labas, or users listening or enjoying your content, and it stays the same. And I'll show you a practical example. It's hard kasi to explain it philosophically. Ganito siya. I'll turn it off. Now, this is me when I speak, when I'm just chill. I'm chilling when my favorite game. Everything's going well. I'm calm. I'm chill. And this is how I sound like kung galit na ako. Grabe guys, ang ano nyo, pabigat kayo. Maglaro nga kayo ng Valorant. Mag-practice nga kayo sa Dota 2. Grabe, mag-lol ka na, quit lol ka na, quit lol ka na. This is how I speak when I'm like really chill, diba? Ganitong chill. And ito na pag galit na ako. Diba there's medyo harsh siya, nakakagulat siya. And what happens kasi is that your viewers, depending on what game that you play, say you play horror games, there will be quiet moments na parang takot na takot ka. And then there are moments na sisigaw ka, mai-ear-rape yung yung audience mo. So the compressor works that it actually reduces, it compresses the yung higher output mo to a level that's more comfortable to your viewers. Now, I'll show you naman how it works sa compressor. So kanina narinig nyo na, diba? Ganito yung voice ko pag tahimik. Ganito pag sumisigaw ako. Now, if I turn on the compressor, this is my quiet voice, right? This is my quiet voice. And this is when I'm shouting already. Sobrang naiinis na ako sa mga tao. This is my quiet voice. This is my chill voice. And this one is my tilted voice, diba? As you can see, parang even if I'm shouting, the software adjusts the gain so that parang same pa rin yung volume nila. Diba? So that's the beauty of the compressor. So yung settings ko dito, I just set it as the default. I think this one works really well already, even with my voice. So that's fine. One more final note for OBS is that these things are applied in order. So the first one will be the highest priority, and then the lowest one will be the lowest priority. my strong recommendation is to keep this at the same order because first of all, noise gate, you want to control what signals actually get inside the software, diba? So you want to do that. And if you put gain kasi, ang mangyari niyan, maglolo ko yung thresholds nyo because if you're boosting it, ito yung nauna sa taas, kunwari yung gain nasa taas, then you've boosted all your levels by an additional 4 decibels. Mali na naman yung thresholds mo dito. So make sure that the noise gate is actually on top priority. The next thing that you do is the gain. Finally, you go through the noise suppression. This one should always be here sa third because if you put this before the noise gate, magloloko-loko yung noise suppression. It might not even work. Yung noise suppression kasi really works on very stable and very consistent sounds. So, kunwari, yung noise gate mo, nagpipick up siya ng fan, nagpipick siya, ino-off niya, ino-on niya. Hindi, yung noise suppression is actually it's not optimal, right? So you should set it here. Compressor naman obviously is the last one. So yung semi-final signal mo is that's the one that you want to compress. So that's how you do it. You keep it at the last stage as much as possible. Okay, so yung final tip ko naman ngayon is actually to be able to use a technique called sidechain or ducking. Have you ever heard a streamer or some personality na they're playing music in the background tapos when they talk, hihina yung music? I'll show you how to do it. It's called ducking. Now, instead of clicking the mic/auxiliary, you click desktop audio, right-click it, click on filters, and then add the compressor. It's only named ducking there para hindi ako ma-confuse, but it's really the way that you access it kasi is that you go to the compressor filter and then select mo yung mic/auxiliary. Ito yung source of the ducking. So if you play something, if it detects an input or an output from that source, it will lower yung volume of yung desktop audio. So let's remove it na. Yan. So I'll actually show you real quick how it actually sounds like without ducking. Ganito siya, ha? So I'll just quickly set my levels here, my usual levels, and let's play some music in the background. Yan. Kumare, it's this trap music. And naririnig nyo, nagko-compete ng konti yung boses ko in terms of the music, diba? And if you're in a streaming environment, if the viewers can't hear you properly, it can be a very annoying experience. So, ducking is absolutely necessary. Lagay natin sa drop para maingay. Ayan, diba? Ito na yung drop. Let's activate ducking. Ayan, diba? Tumatahimik siya ng konti. It's reducing the volume of the music if I'm not talking. Let's keep quiet again. And then salita ulit tayo, diba? Then it's reducing the volume and it's making your voice shine out instead of the music. Let's turn off the music already. Now in terms of the settings, ito yung recommended ni OBS for the ducking. You do the ratio 32:1. Threshold is -36 decibels. Yung attack niya is around 100 milliseconds. So pag nagsalita ka, 100 milliseconds, ilo-lower na yung music. Yung release naman nito is that after you stop talking or it stops detecting input from the mic, it will increase the volume back up again after 150 milliseconds. This one, I would recommend keeping it as close to 100 milliseconds. Don't put it to 0 kasi makakagulat siya, bigla na lang tumigil ka magsalita tapos lalakas ulit yung volume. Make it like a fade, diba? So 150 milliseconds. I've seen some streamers who do it like 400 milliseconds or 600 milliseconds. Don't do that kasi nakakainis. Ang mangyari nun, pagkatapos na tumahimik, may parang almost a full second of silence, biglang iingay siya, then after a second magsasalita na naman siya tapos bababa na naman. Medyo nakakainis yun. So keep it as close to 150 milliseconds. So there, I've shown you all of the tools that I think will be useful for when you're streaming using OBS. There you go. I hope you learned a lot in this very long video. If you're watching this on Facebook, please consider following me at fb.gg/norclagaming. I stream every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And by the way, please share this to the streamer friend that you have na pangit yung audio. Hindi, joke lang. Share this to anyone na you think would benefit from watching this video. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'd appreciate a subscribe because I need to hit 100 followers, or rather subscribers, so that I can create a custom URL for my YouTube page so that it becomes a bit more shareable. So there you go, guys. This is Norcla signing off.